becomes more. Before we begin, a few words that really matter. So stay with me for these. Everything you are about to see runs inside an isolated lab that we own and fully control. ATTACKRX is a character no real company is targeted and no real system is ever touched. We reveal how the attack works for one reason only, so that defenders like you can learn to catch it. Never use anything you learn here against a system you do not own or that you don't have clear written permission to test. Unauthorized access is illegal, and what you choose to do with this knowledge is entirely your responsibility. So let's use it the right way, learn, secure, and defend. Now let's begin. Too late in the morning. Inside XCerberous, the dashboards are calm, every light is green, becomes morbid on one ordinary workstation. WS07, a foothold quietly blinks to life. Someone is inside and they are about to do something that will never trip a single alarm. They are going to ask questions. ATTACKRX is on WS07, one random laptop in a network of thousands of machines. And here's the operator's problem. He's inside, but he is blind. He doesn't know where the domain controllers are. He doesn't know who the admins are. He doesn't know which server holds the crown jewels. Before he can steal anything, he needs a map. And tonight we are going to watch him draw one using nothing but the questions and the network is happy to answer. Welcome back to Cyber Talks. I'm Goutham, and here we play both sides. Becomes more. Today's technique is account discovery, mapping an entire company from the inside. In MITRE this is technique T1087.02. It's quiet, it's built in, and it is almost always the step right before the real attack. So here's the trap that makes this work. Active Directory, the system that runs almost every corporate Windows network, is a directory. Think of it like the phone book for the entire company. Every user, every admin, every server, and every group. And a phone book has one job to answer by design. Any ordinary domain user can ask Active Directory who are the domain admins, which machines exist, who belongs to which group, no special rights, no exploit. The directory simply answers. That is the feature, and tonight it is the vulnerability. Becomes more. Here's the ground, a domain controller. The heart of Active Directory file servers, a SQL server holding customer data, and a sea of workstations. ATTACKRX sits on just one of them, WS07, and from that single laptop he starts asking. And the beautiful part for him is that he needs no tools at all. This is living off the land. He types net user slash domain and Windows hands back every account in the company. Net group domain admins slash domain, and there they are, the most powerful accounts in the building, nltest slash declist. And he has located every domain controller, three commands, all built into Windows, nothing installed, nothing dropped, nothing that looks like an attack. Then he moves up a gear to attack a tradecraft. Becomes more. A PowerShell toolkit called PowerView, get domain user, get domain group member, get domain computer. Under the hood, every one of these fires a precise LDAP query straight at the domain controller where a human might ask 10 questions. PowerView asks hundreds, scripted, structured in seconds. And then the finale, BloodHound, its collector Sharphound sweeps the domain, asking every machine and the directory itself who trusts whom. It queries local group memberships across the host and LDAP on the controller. And then it does the thing that makes it so dangerous. It draws a picture, a graph, and on that graph it highlights the shortest path from this one laptop through a help desk group to the server admins to domain admin. That path is the attacker's GPS. Becomes more. He no longer has to guess. The network just told him exactly how to win. So that's the reconnaissance. Now let's flip the glass and sit down inside the SOC. And here is the problem. On the security wall, everything is still green. There was no malware, no exploit, no file drop to disk. It was all just questions, the exact kind of questions the network answers a million times a day. So unless you are specifically auditing Active Directory and LDAP access, there is nothing to see, and nothing to see means no alert. So we hunt, and the key insight is this: a normal employee's computer might look up a group now and then a handful of times a day, but an attacker's tool, it enumerates hundreds of groups from one host in a few seconds. That difference, that is the tell. Becomes more. It isn't the question that's suspicious, it's the volume and the velocity. And there it is, 247 groups enumerated in 4 seconds from a single workstation. No human being works like that, no normal process works like that. That burst is the signature, and that is what lights up the board. So we build the rule. In Microsoft Sentinel using KQL, we watch two Windows events, 4798 and 4799. The events that fire when group membership is enumerated, we group by the account and the host, and we count the distinct groups touched inside a 5-minute window. If one account touches more than 50 distinct groups in 5 minutes, that is not work, that is reconnaissance. Becomes more. And for the LDAP side, we watch event 46 62. Directory access on the objects we care about. Same behavior in Splunk, the same two events, the same burst, the same threshold laid out as user, host, count, and time. Two platforms, one behavior now. The professional note, vulnerability scanners, asset inventory tools, and some legitimate admin consoles also enumerate in bulk, so you tune it. You baseline what each service account normally does. You exclude your known scanners by name. And here's the catch: a good attacker will exploit BloodHound can be told to go slow, to add jitter, to stay under your velocity threshold, which is exactly why velocity alone is not enough. And it is why the next move is deception. But first, investigation becomes more which host asked the questions, which account, what exactly did they map, users, admins, or the path to domain admin. And the question that matters most, did they pivot afterward toward one of the accounts they just found? Because discovery is almost never the goal, it's the warning right before the real move. Your job is to get there first. So how do we make recon expensive first year? Your admins, a workstation should never be able to see or reach the keys to the kingdom. Second, limit who can enumerate the directory in bulk. Third, turn on directory access auditing event 4662 and alert on the burst we just built. And fourth, baseline normal per account. So the abnormal stands out. You cannot stop the directory from answering becomes more, but you can make every question count. And now my favorite defensive move in this entire episode. Deception. We plant a trap, we create a fake account, one that looks irresistible, a domain admin called SVCD backup. It has no real purpose, nobody ever uses it, it never logs in, which means there is only one reason anyone would ever ask about it: recon. So we put a single alert on that one object, and the moment any tool touches it, even a slow, careful, jittered bloodhound, the trap springs. A honey token like this is one of the highest fidelity alerts you will ever build. Almost no false positives, just caught. Let's log this in interview style because you will be asked these: what is bloodhound and what does sharphound collect? Becomes more which events log group membership enumeration and what's the difference between 4798 and 4799. How do you detect recon by behavior instead of by signature? And what is a honey token? Pause the video, answer each one out loud if you can. You own this technique, and with that the map is torn up, the recon is caught, XCerberous is protected. Tonight you saw how an attacker turns a network's own directory against it, how volume and velocity give the recon away, how we detect it in Sentinel and Splunk, and how a single fake account can catch even the most careful intruder. Before you go, thank you. Truly, every minute you spend here is a minute you become harder to breach, and that is the whole point of this channel. Becomes more if this made even one attack easier for you to catch, then we did our job tonight. So do a few quick things for me: subscribe and turn on notifications so the next breakdown reaches you the moment it drops. Leave a comment and tell me which technique you want to see next. And share this with someone in the cyber world who needs it, because the more defenders who can see this coming, the safer all of us are. Thank you again for spending this time here. You've been with Cyber Talks with Goutham. Attack, detect, investigate, defend. I'll see you in the next one.